So it's the first video of the new year, and I'm making breakfast enchiladas. Here we go. Okay, so I'm starting off with a pound of lean ground beef. I've already seasoned it with some garlic powder. I've added onion powder. I've also added some ground pepper and salt to taste. So just break it apart, cook it, and then I'm going to set the ground beef aside after it's cooked, and I'm going to use that pan. So here I have a mixture of seasonings and spices with flour, and this is the recipe I'm using for my enchilada sauce slash gravy. It's in my cookbook. It's this red sauce recipe, and I will put it in the description below, but essentially I just added everything together. So in a preheated pan, I'm adding around 3 tablespoons to a quarter of a cup of cooking oil. I'm going to leave this on a medium heat, and I'm going to basically create a roux with all the seasoning, spices, and flour mixed together. And you'll just want to combine this and cook out the flour for well over a minute, maybe like right under 2 minutes is a good time over medium heat. Now I'm going to slowly add in 2 cups of water. So for those of you that have been longtime subscribers and followers, know that I make these enchiladas probably once a week. My family loves them. It's in my cookbook. So why not start off the year with a delicious New Year's Day breakfast of enchiladas? Okay, so once you've combined the first part of the water into the roux, you want to work it in to remove any lumps and clumps. And then what I'm going to do is add the rest of that water. You could use a whisk. That works a lot better. I'm just going to use the spoon. And eventually, once everything comes together and simmers, it starts to thicken and it's done. So I'm just going to shut off the heat and set aside. Okay, on a griddle with cooking oil, I'm going to prep my corn tortillas. I like to pass them through hot oil, just a light fry to heat them through. You don't want them crispy, you just want them softened and pliable. This makes it a lot easier to roll the enchiladas. It also helps to keep the texture of the tortilla after you pour the sauce and bake it. So I'm just going to fry up around 15 of these. 15 to 16 works. Sometimes I just do 14. It all depends. Okay, 9 by 13 baking dish. And here I've shredded close to like 14 ounces of mild cheddar cheese. I'm going to add a handful or so into the ground beef and give that a mix. And this is going to be the ground beef filling for the enchiladas. By the way, be sure to check the description below and, follow me on my other social media handles. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of this enchilada sauce to the bottom, and I'm going to spread that out, and then I'm going to start to roll these up. And I just love to use clean hands when doing this. Please excuse me if some of you find that off-putting, but I cook in my kitchen, I wash my hands all the time, and it's for my family. I probably would add gloves if I was going to make this for other people. Okay, so spread it out, and now I'm going to take one of my prepped corn tortillas and I'm going to just kind of slather it in the sauce a little bit, and then you fill it up, and I'm just taking a handful. If I had to guess, it's like maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons of the filling, and you give it a tight roll and pull back on the roll so that it stays rolled, and then you just start sliding them and arranging them at the bottom of this baking dish. So I hope everyone had a nice holiday season. I know a lot of people like to do the whole New Year, New Me or reach New Year's resolution goals. For me, it's kind of like hashtag New Year, same me. But everyone can do whatever it is that they want. Okay, so I'm definitely going to be making more enchiladas this year. Okay, so all the enchiladas are rolled up or rolled out. I don't know, up or out. Anywho, I am going to add some diced onion. I'll say this is optional. Some people just don't want the onion on enchiladas, but we like it, so I'm going for it. This is half of a small onion right on top. You could also mix this into the filling, by the way. Now I'm going to add some of that shredded cheese on top of the onion. By the way, I love a good cheese and onion enchilada. That is also a favorite of mine. Okay, shredded cheese. By the way, I think I'm using mild or medium cheddar. You could use sharp cheddar. I love to use Colby Jack when I have it. It works in my opinion. Okay, cheese going on, and then after this layer of cheese, I am going to take the rest of the enchilada gravy slash sauce and just pour it evenly over all of the enchiladas. And you know, you'll have to kind of spread it over. You want to make sure each rolled enchilada is covered or slathered in the sauce. So comment down below, what did you all do for your New Year's Eve celebration? We pretty much were low-key, stayed home. And honestly, my husband likes to celebrate Lunar New Year. So we kind of wait around for that to sort of, you know, do something here at home with my little family. But definitely I know there were a lot of people partying on New Year's Eve because I heard all the fireworks. Okay, so you spread this around, make sure you coat each individual enchilada. You want it sauced, and now the rest of the cheese I'm just going to put on top. By the way, if you are new here, welcome to my channel, Simply Mama Cooks. I'm Angelica. Please check the description below for a lot of information. Okay, so I'm going to cover these with aluminum foil. By the way, I've been looking for these. That's where they are. Okay, so once you cover this with aluminum foil, you want to bake these in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 35 minutes. Okay, I'm thirsty, and I have some leftover ponche navideño. This is like a Christmas punch. I will link the recipe below, but it's so good. I drink this year round, and it's just a delicious fruity hibiscus punch. You could also add rum, brandy into the mix, tequila, it's up to you. Really good. Okay, so I'm going to be topping my breakfast enchiladas with this like ranchero pan salsa, and I'll show you how I made it. I have jalapeno, tomato, garlic, and onion. In a pan, I'm going to add a tablespoon of cooking oil, and this is over a medium-low to low heat, and I'm going to just add my tomato, onion, and jalapeno. And you'll want to saute this. And you don't want to do this over a high heat because you don't want it to burn before it has a chance to sort of render out its natural juices or water content. So just kind of give that a quick stir and combine. And I'm also going to be adding just a pinch of salt. That'll just help the saute. And then you kind of just do this for about maybe 3 minutes or so. You just want to give it a head start. I like to add my garlic after everything sautés well, and you continue to combine, mix, and cook. By the way, I love this combination of ingredients. Instead of making salsa, I like the chunky texture. So I'm going to add a little bit of chicken bouillon powder. I'm going to add maybe like a half cup of water. You combine that and just let it simmer and cook for an additional 3 minutes or so. And the next ingredient I'll say is optional, but I like to add just a half tablespoon of unsalted butter. Let it melt down, let it simmer, and this is done. And this is an easy, delicious ranchero pan salsa. So good. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 eggs sunny side up. I just preheated this little pan. I melted like a tablespoon of butter, and over a medium-low heat, just let them cook. The enchiladas are done, so my husband's going to help me remove that from the oven. And for those of you that are always wondering why he helps me, I have really bad wrists. I probably need surgery at some point. Okay, so these are done. My eggs are about done, but I want to show you. You can eat these as is. You don't have to eat them with eggs or anything on top. They are wonderful, just like this, with a side of Mexican-style rice, which I will link in the description below or somewhere throughout this video. It's the perfect meal in my house. Okay, so I'm going to plate these up because everyone is hungry. So we stayed up until midnight, did the countdown, so everyone's kind of like waking up late today. So this is technically kind of like a breakfast lunch. This is the first meal of the day, and I wanted to make sure it was comforting and delicious. Okay, so put these on the plate. I tried to get 3 at the same time, but this wooden spatula just wasn't doing what it needed to do. And now I'm going to top with the sunny side up eggs, which I cooked so well. Everything smells so good. And now with this leftover ranchero salsa I had in my fridge, and this is breakfast. This is the first meal of the first day of the new year. So good. And I can't wait to dig in. So I hope everyone is having a great start to the new year. And if not, just start again for the Lunar New Year. We do. But I definitely want to start with a delicious breakfast for my family. You got to try this. Gosh, that first bite is amazing. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.